Hey, what's up guys? Today I wanted to talk about the benefits of isolation and why isolation is good for you. Right now, all over the world, a lot of people are spending a significant amount of time alone and in isolation, in lockdown and in quarantine due to the coronavirus. I feel like I keep hearing the same thing from people, that they're losing their minds or freaking out because they're spending so much time alone and isolated from other people. One of the main reasons for people feeling like they're losing their minds or going crazy in times of isolation and spending a lot of time alone is because when you spend a lot of time alone and is in isolation, parts of your shadow come up. And the shadow is coined by Carl Jung, and it is your unconscious aspects of yourself. They're the aspects of yourself that you deny or reject and deem unworthy or not acceptable.
Yoda plays not with me anymore. Yoda thinks me not worthy.
This, of course, consists of your dark side or your more negative aspect of your personality that chooses to pursue immoral desires or thoughts or actions in your life. So if you're somebody who's out there who is having a really hard time right now with so much time in isolation and you feel like your mind and your dark thoughts are just taking over and messing with you, it's probably because you have an underdeveloped shadow aspect of yourself, or you have not integrated or accepted or loved your own darkness.
Yoda recognizes you not. See not what is inside Yoda.
And made your own shadow and darkness conscious and brought your unconscious into the conscious.
Recognize you. I do.
And that is the whole point of shadow work, is to look at your unconscious self and make it conscious, accept it for what it is, love it, but also know that you choose not to be the darker aspect of your personality. Of course, if you want to be a good person.
My dark side, you are. Reject you, I do.
You cannot be a whole person if you are denying half of yourself or rejecting half of who you are. You have to love all aspects of you, and by looking at your shadow and your darkness and understanding it, understanding why you have darker aspects of thoughts or ways of being or immoral desires, if you understand that, then you bring it into the light and understand why you act a certain way, why you respond to certain things a certain way. And if you bring that into the light with awareness, then you have control or power over your darkness, and your darkness doesn't have power and control over you. Slow motion this side. Back again. Shout out to Infinite Waters. He's a huge inspiration. Love that guy. Remember, what you resist persists. You can't hide from yourself. There is nowhere to hide. And what you reject or ignore, you give more power to. During this time of isolation, different aspects of your dark side or shadow that can be coming up are negative patterns, whether that's thought patterns, being too focused on the past and things that you should have released a long time ago. It could also be addictions to substances, or just addiction towards things that maybe aren't the best for you, or simply craving things or people that necessarily maybe aren't good for you just because you feel lonely. What I find about the coronavirus and lockdown and quarantine situation interesting is that it's almost like a forced evolution. It's almost like the earth has forced humanity into isolation to do the shadow work, to look at themselves and their darker aspects of themselves and integrate them into themselves. And so it's almost like a forced evolution, a forced ascension process for humanity, because of quarantine and because of lockdown, you don't have a choice to run away anymore. You don't have a choice to keep distracting yourself with other people and going out and doing things that you have to look at yourself. You know what I mean? You have so much time when you are alone that it is a forced evolution, ascension process. And so my suggestion to all of you people out there is to do the best of your ability to take the time out to process your own thoughts and emotions and different aspects and negative things that are coming up, to better understand who you are.
Know your true self. Face me now, or I will devour you.
And understanding your darkness so that you can become more of a whole individual being. That is the whole purpose of metamorphosis, like a caterpillar being enclosed in a cocoon and turning into mush and then being reborn and reshaped into a butterfly when we have the time to emerge and go back out into the public. And how crazy does it sound to run away from yourself anyway? Doesn't that sound bizarre, to distract yourself or be running away from yourself? Parts of yourself or your personality that remain in your unconscious mind or your shadow, which means outside of your awareness, don't always have to be negative. Some of the unconscious or repressed aspects of your personality or yourself are positive aspects of yourself that you were told or taught to repress or reject due to social conditioning. During the process of growing up, we are taught to deny certain aspects of ourselves and of our personality in order to be accepted in our family and in our community, so that we may fall in line in order to be considered normal. Think about when you were a child and your parents would scold you for doing something that they deemed bad or not good or not in alignment with their own values. Let's say as a boy growing up you were wild, playful, and very outgoing, but you had a parent who deemed that males shouldn't express themselves in that type of way and that they should be more serious, more controlled, and more masculine energy. Then you would deny those aspects of yourself and deem them unworthy or unlovable in order to be accepted and receive love from that parent. The problem that this creates is that you end up rejecting, repressing, and denying certain aspects of yourself or of your personality that truly make you unique and different than everyone else. These are positive aspects of your personality that make you truly who you are. And the purpose of shadow work is to uncover those parts of yourself that you've repressed and hidden from yourself so that you can become more of who you are. The whole process of enlightenment and spiritual evolution isn't to become something or someone you are not. It's simply to remember who you are authentically. So in this regard, isolation is really good for you because it forces you to honestly and truly confront who you are, all of your aspects of yourself, your light and your dark, and your dark is just as important and equal as to your light. There's a lot of spiritual mumbo jumbo out there that's only, light, love and light and rainbows and bliss, and darkness doesn't exist, and that's just trash. What makes shadow work difficult, or what makes people shy away from doing shadow work, is the fact that you end up coming to the realization that you have been living under programs or a set of beliefs and that are not of your own, that were told and programmed into you at a young age. And it's the realization that you have not been living as your true authentic self. And that realization can be kind of hard to understand or come to terms with, especially as an adult. Another benefit of isolation is understanding how your mind works. During times of isolation, your mind can run rampant and maybe cause you some problems, or you can get in your head quite a lot. The whole point of meditation as a spiritual practice is to gain control of your mind, and so that you can learn the skill of using your mind as a tool, which it was always intended to be, a tool, and your mind not to use you as a tool. time of isolation really helps you understand how your mind works and your own personal processes so that you can better navigate the way you think and your own consciousness. Your mind was intended to help you understand abstract ideas and to problem solve, but you have to understand that you are not your mind. That is why during times of isolation, it is super important for you to meditate or take time out of the day where you clear your mind and just have nothing going on upstairs, to silence the monkey mind and just bring yourself into a state of peace at a time when there's a lot of chaotic energy going around in the collective consciousness. Alright guys, that's it for part 1 of this 2-video series, and I hope you guys enjoyed this content, and if you did, make sure to subscribe for more content below, and make sure to check out the merch in the description box. And I'm always down for likes and comments, and I'd love to talk to any of you guys out there so we can build a community together. Love you guys so much. I hope you're doing well and staying safe during quarantine and lockdown, and wishing you all the best. Peace.